What could the federal government do to repair its relationship with Western Canada?
I don't believe Western separatism is it's going to lead to success for Canada or for anyone. It's going to just create more problems.
They have to basically look back on what Alberta sacrificed for Eastern Canada. So they shouldn't think that, okay, Western Canada, the time has been gone, so they have to look on the new option. I don't think that's necessarily helping them.
To put it this way, the fact that I've traveled to the refinery in New Brunswick, the Irving Oil Refinery, the fact that they import Saudi Arabian and Venezuelan crude to the tune of about 1/3 of their feedstock is just patently wrong, that we should be using Canadian resources as long as we can. So a pathway to get our oil to market.
Actually acknowledge we're here would be a start. We can do Canada just as much good as Ontario if they would acknowledge us and work with us.
They need to reform equalization payments. Not very long ago, they kind of passed it again for another few years under the radar. And they just need to reformulate that whole situation there. And pipelines, we have to have pipelines go through. Look at Calgary right now and Saskatchewan, where I'm from. Just jobs gone, and the economy's really hurting, and he's not doing anything to help that. So
something's got to give. Jobs need to come up, and I'm pro oil and gas when it comes to anything. So they've got to repair it somehow that way.
They need to support our energy sector. Pipelines, new projects, less regulations. Something that I don't expect from this Liberal government.
Yeah, I think that in general, from both perspectives, I think the federal government and our local kind of cultural and political forces, it would behoove all of us to be a little bit less ideological and a little bit more relational in those conversations, and sort of to let go of any past historical conflicts and just kind of work with current day, current moment, future possibility.
Well, that's the thing. He's never had any input of what the Western provinces wanted, especially when we're dealing with C-69. There was absolutely no input from any of the producing provinces. So the long-term impact of C-69 is huge across the nation, really, because it's impeding how projects are going to get built in the near future.
Alberta seems to be the new Quebec. They want to separate. They're oil-based. They're in trouble. The West does not we're a polarized country, east-west, like the States are north-south. I don't see in any time soon that's going to change, and I don't know what you can do to change it, really.
I don't really know what their concerns are, but there's always the possibility to give more autonomy to certain provinces. That's always been the strategy in Quebec, to try to give more autonomy, more control over things like immigration and other policies. So there's always the possibility in a federated system of giving certain provinces or regions more autonomy. Maybe that would solve it.
I have been following the oil industry and the resources industry for the past 50 years. The Conservatives ruled the Western provinces with resources with their head in the sand. They did not diversify. They gave away all that Heritage Fund money like it was Christmas. Every year they gave them $2,500. We didn't get $2,500. We were taxpayers in Ontario. And now they're crying, we want to separate. We want to... Total garbage. They have to rethink and say, the world is getting out of resources of oil and coal. It's passé. We got to think new.
Build a pipeline.
I'll build another pipeline. They're already building one. They bought out the Trans Mountain pipeline. And it's interesting, isn't it, that they bought that pipeline at a cost of billions of dollars, and they really got no credit from it from Western Canada. It's an interesting phenomenon. It's really hard to turn things around. When you're not liked, you tend to stay not liked. I'm a Western Canadian by birth and upbringing, and so I sympathize with Western Canadians, but I'm not quite sure what else the federal government can do.
Well, I think the pipelines are very crucial to the economy of Canada.
And I think they should move ahead forward to implement these pipelines that'll be good for Canada's economy. I think they should go ahead and help out the western provinces for that reason.
Along, so they've been helping us out all along, like Alberta, and now it's time that we go and help them, but it's to improve our economy instead of us buying oil and gas from other foreign countries. Yes.
I don't really know the answer to that, to be honest. I wish I had a better answer. I mean, they need to stay in Canada because they're taking all the benefits of being in Canada too, and you know, I know they're rich with the oil, so they want to, you know, think to have their own country, but they need to find a way to. I'm more on the federal side than I'd be on the Alberta side, to be honest, but maybe that's just because I'm an Ontario boy living here all my life. But.
Each province have their own needs, and you know, the only thing is to talk to them and to exchange and to see, you know, nobody can be a big winner and nobody can be a big loser. It has to be in between and, you know, negotiate. That's the only, you know, discussion, talking, listening what the people needs to make people live a better life. That's it.